digestive system is a group of organs that digest food and absorbs nutrients. Each part of the gastrointestinal tract, GI tract, has a specific function in the conversion of food, absorbing nutrients, eliminating waste products. This presentation will help the GI tract and go on to explain mechanical and chemical digestion, including discussion of enzymes. Finally, it will demonstrate what constituents of a balanced diet. Structure and function of the digestive system. The function of the digestive system is to fundamentally take in food and drink and process it so that our body's system obtains essential nutrients and water for the maintenance and growth of cells in the body. The digestive system works in mechanical and chemical processes. Mechanical, by chewing and breaking up food, digestion takes place initially in the mouth. The grinding up of the food creates larger surface areas for chemical digestion. Further mechanical digestion occurs in peristalsis and the rhythmic contractions of the stomach, small and large intestines, and final movement of the waste at the anus. The mouth contains other organs such as teeth, tongue, and salivary glands. It is the start of the GI tract. The salivary glands release salivary amylase. When food is smelt or a person feels hunger, it is controlled by the autonomic system. There are 3 pairs of salivary glands. Saliva is made of water, bitalin, and mineral salts that make an alkaline substance. This also helps keep the mouth moist. On entering the mouth, the teeth chew and start to break down the food and the tongue. Mastication. Together with the salivary amylase, mix the food into a bolus and pass it down into the esophagus via the pharynx. Swallowing is voluntary. Pharynx. Swallowing now becomes involuntary because the epiglottis has to close the larynx to help prevent any food entering the lungs, and the muscles in the pharynx move the bolus to the esophagus. The epiglottis is a tissue flap underneath the tongue and at the back of the mouth. The esophagus. The esophagus runs from the pharynx down the stomach and the diaphragm. The bolus and the liquids are moved to the stomach in part by gravity and also peristalsis, which is a wave-like contraction of the muscles. Liver. The liver is an accessory organ which produces bile. Bile contains water electrolytes, cholesterol, bilirubin, and other molecules. It helps digestion and absorb fats and fat-soluble vitamins. Bile removes waste products. The gallbladder and bile ducts. The gallbladder is attached to a liver and stores bile. The bile ducts are a series of small tubes which allow bile to move from the gallbladder and to the small intestine. The stomach. The stomach is hollow and accepts the bolus. Muscle movement mixes up with the gastric juices, hydrochloric acid, water, enzymes, intrinsic factor, and mineral salts. It helps break it down further. The hydrochloric acid helps kill bacteria, and intrinsic factor aids vitamin B absorption. This process can take up to 4 hours before it is moved to the small intestine. The small intestine, duodenum. The chyme bolus is further digested by chemicals and becomes an alkaline and free up small molecules. Jejunum and ileum. Through a large surface area made by villi and microvilli, water, vitamins, and small molecules, lipids, amino acids, monosaccharides are absorbed into the bloodstream. Peristalsis moves the chyme into large intestines. The large intestine. Ascending colon absorbs the remaining water and other nutrients to form a stool. Transverse colon absorbs water and salts to form a stool. Ascending colon, storage area for feces. Sigmoid colon, moves stool into the rectum. Rectum. When the ascending colon is full, the stool is moved to the rectum, which in turn stimulates bowel movement. Anal canal and anus. The anus is external skin, and the anal sphincter controls the bowel movement. The sphincter opens up to allow defecation. Role of enzymes. Chemical digestion is largely facilitated by the digestive enzymes. Although the acidity of the stomach and other chemicals do have active roles to play, digestive enzymes are like all enzymes. Proteins made of specific peptide chains. They are specific in that one enzyme carries out one reaction. They are shape dependent and they can easily be disrupted by pH and temperature. An important part of the enzyme is that the active site, which is where the substrate molecule fits. The enzyme causes the substrate molecule to break up into products. This is the lock and key mechanism. The enzyme is unchanged and can be reused. Salivary amylase is produced produced and secreted by the salivary glands in the mouth. Saliva lubricates the food by chewing it so it can be swallowed. Mechanical digestion. Salivary amylase is a digestive enzyme that acts on carbohydrates. It starts straight away to break down carbohydrates into single disaccharides and trisaccharides. In fact, we keep a piece of bread in our mouth and chew. It eventually tastes sweet because the enzyme working. Salivary amylase works best in acidic conditions, so it works well in the hydrochloric acid of the stomach, but in the small intestine. It is much more alkaline, so it will be more denatured and lose its active shape and function. Pancreatic lipase. Produced by the pancreas, it works in an alkaline environment and its role breaks down lipids and cholesterol and fatty acids. Hydrolysis. It is water-soluble, it is part of digestion, it acts in the duodenum and works with the bile. Pepsin. It's the protease enzyme which breaks down the peptide bonds, which join amino acids together to make polypeptides. Pepsin is released in the stomach and works optimally in acidic conditions and at body temperature. Relatively small intestines in temperature may improve enzyme efficiency, but more than 4 to 5 degrees in denaturing the active sites and irreversible loss in enzyme function. It can also kill harmful microfibers. Constituent food groups have a balanced diet and provide examples of the sources. As per the chart, main food groups are carbohydrates 55%, fruits and veg, bean pulses and protein 15%, fats and oils, unsaturated fat 20%, saturated fat 10%. Dairy and alternative products are included in the fats totals. Food groups appropriate food proportions are not overindulging. They recommend at least 5 portions of fruit and veg, fibre, green leafy and veg, smoothies. High fibre starchy foods such as rice, pasta, potatoes, breads, wholemeals are replaced where possible. 1 out of 3 dietary intake required for energy. Small portions of dairy or dairy alternatives, source of calcium, skimmed or semi-skimmed milk, almond or soy milk. Bean pulses, eggs and meat. Proteins are an essential part of our diet as they aid the conversion of amino acids, which helps metabolism, growth and repair, muscle development and fluid balance. Lean meat, eggs, oily fish and lentils. Unsaturated fats such as oils, spread, oily fish in small amounts. Smaller amounts can help reduce cholesterol, salmon and avocado. Saturated fats, 10% biscuits, cured meat and cheese, sausages, fatty cuts of meat increase cholesterol, so avoid where possible and substitute for unsaturated fats. It is suggested we have 6 to 8 glasses of water a day, sugar-free squashes, low saturated fat, sugar and salt diets are recommended. Portion sizes change to relating to age. However, the NHS recommend that men have 2,500 calories and women have 2,000 calories. Portion sizes are important in childhood to help aid growth and development. But from 5 years, their diet should follow the Eat Well guide in 2019 and should not exceed the government recommendations, and in adulthood, overeating will lead to obesity, heart disease, cancer and other illnesses.